Your room feels off, and it's almost never because that you have bad taste. You see, many times the room design are fighting with people themselves. The chair you squeeze around, the sofa that leaves your back exposed, the wall that never lets your eye rest, the overhead light that makes everything look flat. In Feng Shui, people might refer to this as bad energy. However, if we trace to the design terms, we can call these as designs are fighting humans. So today, we're going to fix these 6 places that people get wrong, not fixing your taste. Let's get started. This is the framework. It's not a mythical religious check. It's just a way to figure out where the room is actually fighting you so that we can fix them. First, look at the movement. Where do people naturally walk and what keeps them in the way? Then, look at the main seat. Does it feel settled or does it feel exposed? After that, check where your eye lands. If every wall, shelf, and surface is asking for attention, the room will feel busy even when it's clean. Then comes to the material and lighting. Is the room warm enough, grounded enough, still comfortable at night? And if there's a kitchen, the final question is workflow. Can you take the food out, prep, cook, and clean without crossing your own path? The first thing you will need to check is flow. In Feng Shui, you might have heard people refer to it as qi or energy, but in design terms, we better call it as movement. Where does your body naturally want to go? Where does the eye travel when you enter? And where does the room make you hesitate? In this room, the problem is not the sofa style or the wall color. The furniture is fighting the walkway. The sofa technically fits, but it pushes into the entry path. The coffee table is a little too large. If you want to try this at home, stand at the entry and ask, what is the first thing I have to walk around? That is usually where the fix starts. I mocked up a few layout options in Coohom first, just to avoid physically moving every piece of furniture. The version that works best does one thing per sim. It gives the wallway more space. When the body can move without hesitation, the room feels calmer before you can change a single color. The next idea is often called a command position. Well, that sounds kind of formal, but the everyday version is really simple. The most important seats should feel supported, and the person sitting there should have some awareness of the room. Think about where people choose to sit in a restaurant. Most people do not love sitting with their back completely exposed. They prefer a seat where they can see what is happening. This is not a superstition. This is comfort. At home, this applies to your sofa, bed, desk, or favorite reading chair. If your main seats feel exposed, try one of these 3 fixes. Move it to a closer wall, angle it slightly to the entry, or add a console, a cabinet, or a low divider behind it. Preview this from the eye level before you move anything, because a floor plan can look fine from the above while the seats feel exposed in real life. The improved version is not dramatically different, but it's feels settled, and that is our goal. The next comes one of the easiest fixes. However, it can be the most hard one to accept. Maybe sometimes your room does not need more decor. It needs less visual noise. Your brain is constantly scanning objects, edges, colors, patterns, open doors, shelves, frames, pillows, and small accessories. Even when a room is clean, it can still look visually busy. In Feng Shui, there is an idea of open, bright space where energy can gather. In design terms, we call this as a breathing space for your eye. It is a small place where eye can pause. Look at this room. The console has objects. The wall has art. The sofa has too many pillows. The coffee table has too many accessories. None of these pieces are bad alone, but together the room has no quiet moment. So, the practical tip is this. Choose one main focal point, then remove simply anything that competes with it. When you preview the cleaner version, the difference is obvious. The room does not just look empty. It becomes much more intentional. So, leaving blank doesn't just mean unfinished design. It's about design an intentional place for your eye to breathe and rest. Feng Shui often talks about the 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. However, in modern house design, we do not treat them as a really strict playbook. Rather, we can just treat it as a material balance checklist. You see, wood can mean warmth and natural texture. Fire can mean glow, focus, or a warm accent. Earth can mean stability. Stone, clay, ceramic, or warm neutral tones. Metal can mean clean edges, structure, and contrast. Water can mean depth, reflection, softness, or darker tones. The point is not to force all 5 into one room. The point is to ask, which quality is missing? If the room is all gray, glass, and cool light, it may feel clean but cold. If the room is all beige, pale wood, it may feel calm but flat. The balanced version is not the most drastic one. It is the one with enough warmth, softness, structure, and contrast. That is what makes a room feel finished. Lighting is where many rooms fail. In the day, windows do much of the work. However, in the night, issues come out. If your lighting comes from overhead, then in the night, the room would look flat, unfinished, and overly bright. The sofa would look cheaper. The corners feel dead. The wall looks blank. The space starts to feel like a waiting room rather than a room. So instead of asking, is the room bright enough? Ask, where does the light come from? Or is the lighting appropriate? A good room usually needs layers. General light so you can see, lower light near people, accent light to create depth, task light where work happens, and soft light that makes the room comfortable at night. Preview the room at night before choosing the final lighting direction. That matters because lighting changes how every material looks. Same sofa, same rug, same wall color. But with better lighting, the rooms feel warmer, deeper, and much more intentional. Kitchen Feng Shui can get complicated, but for most modern home, its core is simple. A kitchen should have a clear workflow. This matters because kitchen usually does many jobs at once. Cooking, storage, the coffee station, sometimes the homework center, and most importantly, the emotional center of the entire family. The practical test is simple. Trace the path from the fridge to sink to prep to cook to clean. If the path crosses a walkway, blocks another person, or has no prep space where you need it, that is a problem. For the kitchen, Coohom's layout views make it easy to compare. The improved version has a clearer rhythm. Take out, wash, prep, cook, clean. That is good kitchen energy. No magic, but just operational. So when a room feels off, the answer is not always just buying more home decor or just completely renovate your home. Sometimes the room needs a better flow. Sometimes the seats need support. Sometimes the wall needs silence. Sometimes the materials need contrast. Sometimes the lighting needs layers. And sometimes the kitchen simply needs a better rhythm. That is why testing changes before buying anything can be so useful. You can sketch it on paper, move things around at home, or preview the change in 3D. The important thing is not to guess. Look at the room, test one problem at one time, and compare before and after. A good room is not about style. It's about whether the design decisions you make sense altogether. You know where to walk, you know where to sit, you know where to look. The rooms give you comfort without clutter, warmth without heaviness, and function without friction. So, before you buy any more furniture, ask a question. Does this room need more stuff or does it need decisions? So, before you buy anything, change the layout or swap the lighting, test it first. Then decide.